We have a great dynamic this season on The Voice because it's the first time that we've had such great equality, which is always nice. Two male coaches, and we've got Gwen and Alicia there, both incredible artists. As I've always said about the coaches that are successful on our show, I feel like what makes a great coach is a great person. And we have added yet to our already pretty impressive list of coaches now, another two great people. And that's Gwen and that's Alicia. We can talk for days about their credits musically, and they're rich and they're deep, and we all know them. But these are two people that have really done so much musically that they're ready to give back to the artists. And you see that when you watch the two of them. They're both mothers. They're very nurturing. They're both incredibly powerful, strong women as artists. So you see them coaching right away, you get, oh my gosh, they're perfect for The Voice. Season 12's got an interesting dynamic because you've got Alicia Keys, who's done the show before now. She's got a season under her belt. She's back. She's also been putting out a lot of new music. She's been incredibly productive recently in her own professional career. That now carries over into the show. So she's like in full music mode, ready to go. Her ears are just on fire. When she hears something great, boom, she's turning on it. And she's sitting right next to Gwen Stefani, who now has some shows and seasons under her belt. And she's equally as motivated. It's interesting, these coaches, when they come on The Voice, and we've seen this before, they get motivated by our artists. It inspires them to go into the studio and make music, and we've seen that really with both Gwen and Alicia. So season 12, you've got two prolific artists who are hungry, back in their prime, in their own careers, and it carries over onto the show. We also see a great dynamic of women, strong women, bonding together to take on the two boys. So sometimes if there's a four-chair turn, it's like you see Alicia and Gwen got each other's back. Even though they're both fighting for the artist, they do it in a way where it's like, hey, pick one of us because we know what it's like to be a young female artist struggling. These guys are losers. That's a fun dynamic. It's also been an interesting dynamic of watching Gwen. Let's be honest. Her public life with Blake has been out there, and it plays out. It's not something that's taboo on the show. So, she and some of my favorite moments have been Blake and Gwen turn for an artist, and they're fighting each other. And of course, Adam's got something to say about that. He calls them, fights with cupcakes and pillows and whatnot. So there's that dynamic. There's the everybody against Blake dynamic we've seen a lot in season 12. Gwen, Alicia, Adam, all fighting to get a great country artist away from Blake. They're all much more confident in that. That's fun. So you have lots of different groupings, lots of different dynamics, and it's everything you love about The Voice, but more of it. The last time we had gender equality on the show, two female coaches, it almost seemed like, how did we never do this before? Because it made just so much sense to have two strong female artists on the show, and Blake and Adam, and the dynamics just switched. Season 12 of The Voice, what you find happening now as we go on, season after season, fall, spring on NBC, and people are watching the show, and they realize that this is the show to be a part of if you really want to make it in music, because you have four superstar coaches that are genuinely willing to help you. And we've seen now lots of artists that have come on the show that have quit their day jobs and are making a living in music. And that's really, to us, the ultimate winning fact. We see so many great artists in season 12. Season 11, I thought, had some of the strongest top 12, top 6. I thought it was one of the strongest seasons, talent-wise, that we've had yet. And then we start with season 12. Season 12's talents are unbelievable. They're so bold. And they're so young. Like season 12, we have some of our youngest artists that we've ever had. Yet, ironically enough, they're some of our most competitive and most confident. It's almost like America's breeding these just young talents, and they're fearless. And that is so fun to watch. It's inspiring as for the host, for a fan of the show, for the viewers, for the coaches. It's a lot of fun. It's a dynamic that we haven't seen. I think America loves The Voice because it's just become one of these things, as we've all seen our country be so divided. It's one of the few things that the American household can sit around and watch together. My father's 84, he loves the show. My mother loves the show. My kids are 7, 4, and 2. They enjoy the show. It's just, it's putting the American families back together in their living rooms on Mondays and Tuesday nights, escaping everything else that's going on in our crazy world. They're there to watch exciting, fun, family-friendly entertainment. They've got incredible singers singing. They've got 4 of the biggest names in music, you know, fighting for these people, having fun with each other. Nothing's ever too serious, but it's very dedicated and devoted to helping these people out. There's nothing selfish about the show. It's just a ton of fun, and I think season in and season out, people continue to more and more and more come to the Voice party to just have fun. I think for me, I'm such a music guy. I mean, I've made a career out of just loving music, and I've been lucky enough to get to this place, to be on TV on NBC in primetime on a great show like The Voice. But it started being a radio DJ in a small market in California. So I feel really lucky, and I think the moments that I really appreciate the most are when I'm with these families. You know, these artists come to us from all over the country, many of them very young, with their moms, their dads, their uncles, brothers, and sisters. And, you know, they come to Hollywood. They come to Universal Studios Hollywood, and they come to this show that's now become larger than life. And I think, you know, as a host, and maybe you see it on camera, maybe you don't, and it almost doesn't matter to me because it's important to me to make sure that their experience, these families' experience on our show is a good one, that they feel comfortable. And I get very invested. I mean, I interview all of them. You know, we invite almost 100 people to the blind auditions, and I interview every single one of them, and I get to know them. And then minutes later, I'm standing with them, rooting with them as their family members are up on that stage, and their lives could change in 90 seconds. To me, it's a day at work. To them, it's a moment that could change their life forever. And that's a moment that I take really seriously. And I enjoy and appreciate being with the families in those moments, both good and bad. What's new to The Voice in just the past few seasons has been the ability for us, meaning myself and the families, to be about, you know, 100 feet away from the artist. We've repositioned where we are. So now when the artist comes out on stage and it's quiet in the room and they see the backs of these red chairs and God knows what they're thinking, they're freaking out, they've got 90 seconds that could change their life, they can look over for a hot second and see their mom and see their dad and see their brother and sister for the thumbs up. And then you see them, they hit their mark and they go, and they take that breath. And it's almost like, my family's here, got my breath, I'm ready to go. And to be a part of that for me is just awesome. It's one of the more pure things about shooting a reality competition TV show that's so bells and whistles and chairs and things turning and steels and whatnot. This is a real human moment. And as these families are jumping up and down waiting for one of these coaches to push their chairs, it's great every time. I also think that's another big reason why America's continued to love The Voice.